Hello, everybody. Ephraim Schwartz here. Good to know of Shabbos. Skinny Ephraim Schwartz here. Baruch Hashem. Thank you for all those that are giving Gishmaka comments. And this is cool that I get to go ahead and show you what I look like every week and get your encouragement and excitement. And we come this week's the Parsha of Parshas Vayeitzei. Let's get this straight. Parshas Vayeitzei, an exciting Gishmaka Parsha. And the truth is, it's really a Parsha. One thing that I think that I don't know the theme of the Parsha, but there's something there that there's just a lot of shtick. It's a shticky Parsha. There's a lot of shtick going on, fooling and this and that. Should we call it be as it is, Geneva, a lot of thievery. Now the truth is, we try. He started off last week already with some shticky zachen with Yaakov Avinu, this Ish Tam, this tzaddik, going ahead and dressing up like his brother Esav and stealing the birthright. But that's just really just the beginning of, shall we call it, Yaakov's life of crime. Where this week we're introduced to this theme on all different levels in a bunch of different areas. We always find these two different things, banging against each other. Something that we're going to talk about is holy thievery, right? So in the beginning of the Parsha, we're told about Yaakov coming, and he comes penniless to his brother, to his uncle Lavan. And Rashi there tells us the reason why he comes penniless is because that when he left, Esav sent his son Elifaz out to kill Yaakov. And Elifaz, Rashi tells us, having grown up in the house of Yitzchak, knows that murder is bad. Despite the fact that he knows his father is a murderer and a killer, but still Yitzchak had some influence on him and said that murder is just a bad thing. The one thing, however, that he faced is that Esav did one thing good in his entire life. You know what Esav did good? He went ahead and he was mekabel kibud avayim. In fact, I spoke in my shul last week. I talked about how that's why Yaakov was so nervous about the fooling his father, because he said that, and why Yitzchak keeps saying, I love this food, I love this food, I love this food. Why did Yitzchak keep saying, I love this food? Because Esav used to put in, he had the best chef. He put into the food kibud avayim, right? The best ingredients. And nobody could do that like Esav did. So Yitzchak tasted that holiness of kibud avayim. So therefore he was nervous. Yaakov, on the other hand, was nervous. I'm not as good as Esav in that. So Rachel went ahead and said, listen, you'll be meiser nefesh for the kibud aim of me, and you'll put that into the food, and that'll be just as good. But anyways, that's last week. But Elifaz coming goes, I did kibud avayim. My father did kibud avayim. He always followed his father, and I also have to listen to my father. So what am I going to do? And Yaakov comes up with a good chap. See, that's when it happens when you mug a yeshiva guy, right? He can always come up with some type of blunders. And he says to him, you know what? Instead of killing me, what you should do is you should steal all of my money and leave me penniless. And a poor person is an ani who is considered like a dead man, and therefore you fulfill your father's obligation. And that's what he did. He stole everything from Yaakov. But so here we have, the beginning of the parsha. We already have this concept of a ganav for holy reasons. Now that theme is going to follow us through, because as when Yaakov comes here, the first thing we're worried about Geneva. The first thing that Yaakov sees when he sees over there is the shepherds are there, and how come you're not working? How come you're waiting? How come you're lounging around? Right? I mean, on the other hand, you're being dishonest if you're just sitting here smoking and grabbing a cigarette by the well. And they said, no, we're waiting for this and that. But again, there's this daiga, this nervousness about, so we speak, Geneva's das, stealing the knowledge of your owners, and that's a terrible thing. Although Yaakov had just advised him to do it, but there has to be a legitimate reason for Geneva's das. We come to Lavan, and Lavan comes and he hugs him and he kisses him, and there as well, what Rashi tells us right away. He jumps on and he says, "What's he doing? He's trying to mug him." Yaakov is bad luck. I think he should check his mezuzahs, right? Because he reaches into his pockets and he's looking for him. He even checks into his mouth when he kisses him to see if he has any gold teeth, right? Chavetz Chaim actually says, where does he get that from? The Rashi that, he's checking into his mouth for gold teeth, because it says that he only kissed him when he came. When he left, he didn't kiss him anymore. It says he kissed his daughters, but he never kissed Yaakov when he caught Yaakov at the end of the story. Why didn't he kiss Yaakov? He says because he knew they didn't have any gold teeth already. He checked his dentist the first time around, right? He wasn't hiding money in there. So therefore, when it says that first time he kissed him must be why? Because he's trying to mug him. And again, Lavan's playing all this chicken. He's stealing Yaakov. And then Rachel is stealing Yaakov's das as well. She switches Leah for him. I mean, there's just so much shtick going on in this parsha. And then we find Yaakov himself takes this Genevas das later on, right? When Lavan comes and he says to him, okay, you take all the brown and this and just leave me with these sheep, and whatever comes out that's blemished, spotted, speckled, I'll take. Lavan goes, halavai that should happen, because it's not going to happen. And, he thought he was making a good deal on it. And sure enough, Yaakov does this shtick again. He puts the thing there, and the strip, and when the sheep go into heat, then they're producing these animals. And again, a lot of shtick going on in this week's parsha. And it continues. What happens when they leave, right? Rachel Imenu goes ahead and she steals Vayignov Esat Trufim. She steals her father's idols. These Trufim is seemingly, again, the commentaries say, why is she stealing them? Are you allowed to? So, some commentaries go with the path. She was trying to save her father from Avodah Zarah. Is that really going to help him? And the truth of the matter is, we have a halacha that you're not allowed to go ahead and sin so that somebody else should go ahead and not do an Avera. So how could she sin by stealing it? I saw somebody, Rav Margalit, the son of Rav Margalit, the Rav of this, and he wanted to say, well, it's Avodah Zarah. Avodah Zarah is Asur Bahana, so therefore it doesn't really have any value, right? You can't have any benefit from it. And therefore it's not like she stole anything of value. On the other hand, Rav Margalit argued back, right, that a guy doesn't have an Isser Hana. So for maybe a guy, it does have value. So you're not allowed to go ahead and steal it. The other commentary said the reason why she stole is Pekuach Nefesh, because what were these idols that she stole? These Trufim. So interesting enough, the Trufim, Rashi Medrash tells us that Trufim in other places, that it's like they would chop off the head of a dead person and they'd put something in his mouth and this person would tell you the future. It was something about telling the future, something like that. And she was scared that this headless idol would go ahead and snitch that they had escaped and they hid. And that's why she did it. But again, it's a very, very strange, shticky parsha. People are working in all types of, strange ways over here. Finally, we come at the end, towards the end of the parsha, and by the conclusion, and even Yaakov, Lavan calls him a Ganiv. He says to him, he comes chasing after him, and he says to him, you stole my heart, right? Why did you go ahead and right? Why did you hide that you were running away and you stole from me? And you didn't tell me. He goes, I would have sent you out with, joys and musical instruments and this and that. The Orach Chaim HaKadosh asks, he says, what do you mean, why didn't you tell me that you were running away? Ki beireachu, right? That you were running away. When somebody's trying to escape, somebody's trying to run away, you don't tell the person, by the way, I'm trying to escape. So it's just a very strange terminology. So he says something brilliant. He says, Lavan says to him, I didn't know that you were an escape artist, right? That you had already escaped from your brother Esav, that you snuck out in the middle of the night and escaped over there. Had you told me, Ki beireach, that you are an escape artist, right? Then I would have been more careful. And the truth of the matter is, the other Mefarshim say, the Abarbanel, others, how did Yaakov fool him? Yaakov, the whole time, he's asking Lavan, can I do this? Can I do that? Like a little tatala, can I take this? Where should I go with this sheep? He's asking him everything. So Lavan says, this guy's never going to leave. He's mine. He doesn't go to the bathroom without asking me first, right? And by that, he calmed him down. And then all of a sudden, Yaakov escapes. Boom. He was totally unexpected. This was not something that he expected coming from Yaakov. But there's a lot of geneva, a lot of shtick. And what is going on over here? So I'll share with you a great, great story from Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach with a great idea. Shlomo Carlebach says how there was a man that one time came to the Baal Shem Tov and he says to him, Rebbe, my son is sick and he's ill and the doctors have given up hope and I need a yeshua, I need a brach, I need a blessing. Can the Rebbe go ahead and daven for me? The Baal Shem Tov says, no problem. You could fix the problem. And what does he do? The Baal Shem Tov goes and he finds the 10 biggest ganovim, the 10 biggest thieves in the city that he was living. And he gets these ganovim together and all of them sit and they pray and they daven, right? And sure enough, they say Tehillim, and sure enough, the next morning, boom, the baby is all fine. Everything is all better. Talmidim, the Hasidim of the Baal Shem Tov, the holy Hasidim, the Magid, others come to the Baal Shem Tov. They said, this is who you get to go ahead and to pray. You get these Ganovim. Right? So the Baal Shem Tov says, he goes, the thing is, when people are holy, actually, this is the way Carlebach says it. He goes, when people are, what's the difference between a holy person and a half-holy person? He goes, half-holy people, they only like holy people. They only want to be part of the holy people. They look down on everybody else. They're not as holy as me, right? It's like a half-baked apple, right? It's not really, they want to be like that. But a holy person loves everybody. Because Hashem is holy, and he loves everybody. He could take and tolerate anybody, no matter who it is, right? A half-holy person, no, I only want the holy people. So the Baal Shem Tov tells them, he says, when I need a regular tefillah, so then you get regular people to daven. He goes, but now when the gates of heaven are locked, then I need a Ganav that knows how to pick the locks. I need a holy Ganav that knows how to break down those gates and how to get in all the way around. That's the only way that somebody that can believe that everything doesn't look like it can happen. The Ganav is the one that can do that, right? He says, many people believe, I'm a good husband, I'm a good father, I'm a good rabbi, I'm a good person, I'm a good worker, and we make ourselves to be, these fairly good. We like to look at ourselves as very good. He goes, but there's something better than that. It's a holy Ganav, is knowing that when you're not good, how to get in. A good husband can go ahead and have his wife, but when things are going smooth, a good parent can go and handle things smooth. But when it's not going smooth, when it looks like it's locked, when your wife's heart is locked against you, can you pick that heart and get in there? When your child's not listening to you, can you pick that heart and get there? Can you be a holy Ganav? When the gates of heaven are closed, can you get in there as well? Yaakov is teaching, Hashem is teaching the Avos, he's teaching us in this Parsha, right? That everything is going smooth, right? That's fine. You can daven this and that. It's when things are not going smooth. Can you be a holy Ganav? Can you be a holy thief and get in there? Can Elifaz go ahead and figure out how to turn the key and fulfill his father? Can Rachel go ahead and figure out how I can't go ahead and do things regularly, but I'm going to come through this way in a holy way, l'shem shamayim, and be able to do that? Those skills, those tools, perhaps even those negative characteristics that we have, we're meant to elevate. We're meant to be holy Ganavim. That's what Hashem is waiting for the 10 holy thieves to lift up, to break those gates. We're waiting for those gates of Shemayim to open. Baruch Hashem, this month, I think I have Mirza Hashem, Bli Ayin Har. I should have more tours than I've had the past year and a half. A lot of people are coming. I'm looking forward to taking you. But slowly the gates are open and holy Ganavim are coming in. And the Mirza Hashem, we should break open all the heavens gates, and all of you should come here to Eretz Yisrael. Have a fantastic Shabbos. Subscribe to my weekly email, rabbischwartz@yahoo.com. Subscribe to the YouTube. See me on Facebook. Get the WhatsApp group. Send me a message. And looking forward to seeing you again next week.